Scamper, a gray tree squirrel. Scamper, a gray tree squirrel, hurried down the trunk of a tree, head first, as squirrels do. He clung to the bark with sharp-tipped claws and chattered all the way. Scamper was the last of a summer litter to leave his home in the trees. His brothers and sisters had already left to build nests of their own and find food for themselves in the forest. When Scamper reached the forest floor, he stopped to look for danger. His round, bright eyes could see in all directions, above, below, and behind, without a turn of his head. When all seemed safe, he bounded away, tail deep in fern and fall flowers. When he reached a mossy spot, he stopped short in surprise. The feel of moss beneath his feet was very strange to him. He had known only leaves and twigs on the ground or branches overhead dipping and flipping like a rustle of leaves as he sprang from one tree to another. There were acorns on the soft green cover and the fruit of a wild apple tree. There were ripe berries everywhere. While Scamper was busy storing nuts beneath the ground, a red fox watched and waited. She had heard the loud stirring in the leaves as the little squirrel romped about. When the squirrel caught the scent of a creature he had never known in a tree, he rose up high on his hind legs, and peered above the fern. The fox jumped from her hiding place. Scamper raced for a tree. He scrambled to the topmost branches while the red fox yapped below. Scamper lashed his tail angrily and scolded from his high, safe perch. The red fox soon trotted away. When Scamper dared to move about, he leaped from limb to limb till he came to a fork in a branch of the tree, just the place for a large leafy nest. He made many trips to the forest floor for sticks and leaves in the litter below to build a new home in the tree. He didn't stop to notice a red-tailed hawk that circled overhead. When Scamper moved to the trunk of the tree, the large hawk swooped to kill. When the squirrel caught sight of the talons, they gleamed as they reached for him. He disappeared like magic to the far side of the tree. The hawk flew around and around the tree, hunting the little squirrel. Scamper moved to one side as the hawk approached the other, keeping the tree always between them. He played hide and seek with the hawk. When the hawk flew off to find some easier prey, Scamper searched the tree for some deep hollow. A leafy nest would never do with a red-tailed hawk on high. He leaped from branch to branch and tree to tree till he came to the edge of the woods. At the very top of a butternut tree, he found an empty woodpecker's nest, just the right size for a gray tree squirrel. When it grew dark, Scamper jumped inside and wrapped his long feathery tail about him against the cold night air. He slept till dawn, when a chorus of birds awakened him. Peering from his nest, he could see below birds of every size and color. They were eating seeds from a feeder that hung from a branch of the tree. When Scamper raced down to join the feast, all the birds flew away. He ate peanut kernels, millet, cracked corn, and sunflower seeds. He cleared the wooden tray. Before dark, he grew hungry again and hurried down to the feeder. The wooden tray had been moved away. It sat atop a tall, narrow post, far out from the trunk of the tree. Scamper ran to the end of the branch that overhung the feeder. With a long leap, he landed with ease, and again the birds all scattered. When the little squirrel had eaten his fill, he went back to his nest in the tree. No need to store nuts for a winter, with good food always near. He slept the day and night away. In the morning light, Scamper could see the feeder had moved once more. Now it hung midway on a line that stretched from tree to tree. He bounded down and grabbed the line. Swinging his body upside down, he moved along, paw over paw, till he reached the feeding tray. The next day, Scamper saw the tray still hanging from the line. He knew just how to reach the food, but this time as he moved along and neared the wooden feeder, something blocked his way. There was no way to pass the barrier. Scamper tried many times to go around, over and under it, but each time he almost lost his grip. Hungry and tired, Scamper let go of the line, flicking his tail to break his fall. He dropped to the grass below and chattered angrily. Tick, 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 tick. Scamper spent the rest of the day gathering nuts and seeds. Some he ate and some he stored. All the while he could hear the birds calling happily from the feeder. Near evening, as he was about to return to his nest in the hollow, he spied something near the stump of a tree, far from the wooden feeder. There were apples, peanuts, and dried ears of corn scattered on the ground. Scamper had found a feeder all his own.